Hey people, this is just a quick guide about stats, how to build your stats, what do the stats do. I see someone in the Discord talking about not understanding how stats work, so I'm just going to go through them one by one. I'm going to leave some timestamps down below for when I'm talking about a particular stat that you might be looking out for. Anyway, Constitution, one of the two best stats in the game, affects heavily HP and defense growth. If you get 10 points of Constitution, you get a bonus 10% HP, and if you have 25, your basic defense goes up by 10%. Both of these are very, very good. You're never going to... Con is always going to be good to add to. It can also affect damage. Something that I'm not going to bring up again, but if you look at core stat there, so increase or decrease of damage based on the difference in con. So even if you're not leveling up a stat that does damage, it can affect your damage. And thankfully, con isn't only just great for HP and defense, and it's also good for damage. But you wouldn't be leveling it out for damage. The reason why you would be leveling it is due to martial arts like... I don't have it on this character actually, so let me just go... 9 provinces. So after each action you recover 20% of your own damage, HP, and MP. So this is based on your max HP. So if you have a really big maxed HP, the amount you're going to be healing with regenerative body, etc., and regenerating ki and blood. I think I have it on this character maybe. Regenerative body here, double recovery, and replenishing ki and blood, which doubles the HP you get from con. So this can end up in you having a really bloated HP stat like 5,000, where you're healing 40% twice per turn, which basically almost makes you unkillable. However, it's not the preferred way for freedom mode, but just keeping this kind of base knowledge about con in the back of your head and why we level up con generally will probably help you. Intelligence. So intelligence is a strange thing. You can either start at 1, or if you have all the achievements in the game, you can start at 25. It's pretty crazy, but it affects MP. The lower the intelligence, the more initial MP that they have. And the higher the intelligence, the more attack and defense increases when leveling up. So when you level up with a low intelligence, you'll gain more MP, weirdly enough. But that's not really a big thing, because you can use manuals to increase your base MP. And it also affects attack and defense. So when you increase your intelligence, it increases your attack. So usually people will start with at least 10 intelligence using the stat allocation, as long as they have the Infinity Manual already. The Infinity Manual is a manual that you can get within the game that's from 1 intelligence, that you can get from the Taoist sect. There's also the Ultimate Tremor that you can get from the Lost Forest at the beginning of the game. But if you know how to play the game, you're not really going to need Tremor. You can really easily get an ultimate skill as soon as you get out onto the world map and do the 3 cities Yi-Girl quest, which will get you Ultimate Dragon Charge. So Tremor really doesn't come into it. And if you have Infinity, you don't want to start with 1 intelligence unless you're doing a specific low intelligence, high MP build or something like that. Anyway, I'm just going to discuss some more of it. you get 30% more experience. At 10, you use less MP, and then Unparalleled Insight increases the efficiency of all skills by 50%. It's really good for gathering and stuff like that. The way that I see intelligence, if you can start out with it maxed, it's very hard to level up. Though you probably want to be leveling it up anyway for your party members. But it's one of those core stats with these three that doesn't really get touched on, because with all the stat traits that you can get with like these, and these, you can just start off with a super bloated intelligence and never have to worry about it ever again. But anyway, intelligence is attack and defense and has a weird interaction with MP at the end of the day. Now, Dex. Dex is, I see like Dex is sort of a newbie trap. A lot of people see the early gains that they get from having a high Dex and go like, oh, well, I should just probably keep leveling this up. But it has really bad diminishing returns. So Dex affects your like action speed and your Qinggong. What is Qinggong, right? Okay. It's a stat that you might not know. In fact, I'm having a hard time finding it on my stat. Oh, right there. So Qinggong is like another action speed stat that increases with your level in relation to your Dex. At a certain level, though, it caps out in efficiency. So, like, eventually it gives you a set amount of action speed, and then after that, you don't get any more action speed. So, like, initially when you're leveling up your Dex and stuff like that, you're like, yeah, I'm getting so fast. But by the time that you max out your Qinggong, you start getting just a very pitiful amount of action speed per level. Obviously, it levels up damage like any other stat using the martial arts, but not as well as strength and intelligence. If you were doing a dex-based weapon or a dex-based martial art, you would be wanting to level up intelligence or strength instead of dex. And I would probably just leave it. If you can get your dex up to level 10, and I would just probably just leave it at that. If you can get extra stats from other traits, great. Luck. Okay, so luck. Luck affects critical, evasion, parry, and combo, as well as counter. But not so much in a meaningful way that it really fucking matters, to be honest. You always want to start off with 1 luck, or as low as the luck that you can get, so you can just level it all up at the Qinggong statue. If you're looking for guides on how to level these stats, I have a leveling guide or a stat training guide, but luck really sucks. There is one thing that it affects outside of the description here, and that is casino. It actually somehow affects the casino winnings, and depending on your luck compared to the NPC that you're playing against, you'll have better or worse odds. But when items in the game that exist that guarantee parry, guarantee critical, etc., a stat like luck really stops being like a really important thing or a priority to level up. I think the trait that you get at 10 points luck for 50% chance to get an extra item is great for when you're leveling up in the early game, but this is one of those ones where you just get it to 10 and just forget about it. You do not put points in luck at all. It's just not worth it. Even if you're doing a luck weapon build or whatever, it is just diminishing returns, and as I said, this exists. And if you don't have this yet, you will get it at some point. So, strength. Okay, the big daddy stat, the top tier stat, the stat that generally, if you get past 10, you should really only be putting into con and strength. And the reason why this is, it affects critical attack growth and all these other things very tangibly. So when you start getting your strength up to like level 20 and stuff, you're just going to be one hit killing everything in the game. A lot of people will get all their other stats to like as high as they can without any investment, and then just put all of their stats into strength in freedom mode and even nightmare mode. It just trivializes the game really, and it's just really the best stat. You get a strength pill at the start of the game, and then you can use cross hill to further boost it up. But I don't even really, I don't feel like I really need to explain the other things. I mean, like critical doesn't really matter because of this. But when you just like take out everything else in the game and just look at strength as a vacuum, if you've got an intelligence martial art, if you have got a con martial art, dex, luck, you're going to do more damage just leveling up strength anyway. That's just how it ends up at the end of the day. And yeah, like it just has a lot of utility, and letting you equip the best weapons and armor in the game and items. But other than that, I think that's all I really have to say about stats. You really either want to be leveling up con or strength in a nightmare run, or solely strength in a freedom mode almost. But outside of that, if you're just doing like easy, normal, like you've not got all your stats to 10, con leveling up is really hard. And I'm going to just say right now, you should probably max out con at the beginning of the game, and dex. They're two of the hardest ones to level up, and then int is also very hard to level up. So if you're going to do one, it'd be like max out con or max out int or dex at the start of the game. Anyway, that's all I have to say about stats. I hope you guys found it helpful. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, and please like, comment, and subscribe.